If you feel like you're constantly pushing yourself to get things done, to stay on top of life, to be better, healthier, more productive, this can feel like the only way to function. Because things need to get done. Life doesn't stop, responsibilities don't disappear, so you keep going. It's not just about responsibilities. A lot of the time, the pushing is coming from a good place. You push to eat better, to move more, to get your steps in for the day, be consistent, and just to feel better in yourself, because you've learned that if you just try just a little bit harder, you'll eventually feel better. And for a while, it can be true. Pushing can create short bursts of momentum. It can make you feel productive. It can make you feel in control. But underneath that, something else is happening. Every time you push past your limits, your nervous system is taking in a message. That message is, my needs are not important. Rest is not allowed. I have to perform to be okay. And over time, that starts to shape how your body feels. Because from a nervous system perspective, safety is not about how much you achieve. It's about whether your limits are respected. So when you keep overriding tiredness, pushing through exhaustion, and just ignoring the signals to slow down, your system doesn't register that as strength. It registers it as pressure. And the problem with pressure is that it keeps your nervous system activated. And this is why pushing can start to backfire. Because the more you push, the less safe your system feels to then slow down. And that shows up in ways that you probably don't even expect. You might find it hard to rest, even when you have time. You might feel guilty when you stop. You might feel like you always need to be doing something. Or even just that sense of, if I push a bit harder, then I'll just feel better. But for a dysregulated nervous system, that belief often keeps the cycle going. Because the body doesn't experience that as support. It experiences it as just more demand, as another thing to do. And this is where a different approach just becomes more important. Real regulation doesn't come from force. It comes from creating conditions where your system feels safe enough to shift. So instead of pushing your body to change, pushing yourself to feel better, pushing through what you feel, the shift is towards something else. Choice. Choice instead of force. Curiosity instead of pressure. Support instead of self-demand. Because when your nervous system begins to feel safe, it doesn't need to be pushed. It starts to respond. And this is the part that can feel counterintuitive. Because slowing down and listening, taking your time, can actually create change more quickly than pushing ever did. Because pushing may have helped you to cope, but it's also what's brought your system into overload in the first place. So now the shift isn't to push harder, it's to begin relating to yourself differently. And from there, things don't stop getting done, but they start to happen in a way that your system can actually then start to sustain. Because a lot of people hear this and think, I can't slow down. I've got too much to do. If I stop pushing, everything is just going to fall apart. And that makes sense. I get it. I've been there. Because pushing is often what's been holding everything together. But slowing down doesn't mean stopping your life. It doesn't mean doing nothing. And it doesn't mean that things don't get done. What it means is changing how you are doing them. Instead of overriding your body to get through the day, you start to work with it. Now that might look like noticing when your energy is dropping and adjusting where you can. You might break things into smaller pieces instead of forcing yourself through everything at once, or allowing moments of pause before you reach the point of complete exhaustion. Because when you only stop at the point of burnout, your system never learns that it's safe to rest before that point. And that's what creates the cycle. So it's not about removing responsibility. It's about reducing internal pressure that you're carrying while you meet those responsibilities. Because right now, it's not what you're doing that's exhausting. It's the way that your system is having to stay activated in order to do that. When that begins to shift, you often find that you're still getting things done, but with less internal strain, with less urgency, and with more stability underneath it. So it's not slow down or everything falls apart. It's learning to relate to what you're doing differently, so your system doesn't have to keep paying the cost for it. There's lots of ways that you can actually integrate this into your day, and I've got lots of very small incremental videos, 30 seconds, 60 seconds on my page that you can look at. These are gentle regulating activities that you can integrate into your day when you're brushing your teeth, in the shower, boiling the kettle, in the car for work, in the queue at the supermarket, whatever it might be. Integrating these things into your day will bring your nervous system back to a state of safety. And when your nervous system feels safe and you feel more calm, it actually creates more energy for you also to then start getting things done. So start listening to your body. Start giving it a place of safety. If you feel that you need more assistance with this, you can book a one-to-one with me on my Linktree. Please be kind to yourself.